that commissioners should have been aware that they had to pass these bonds before the election. But I asked him, I'm like, were you aware? And he was like, no. So
Wow.
I don't know. Like, communication is definitely a theme here.
How is
And
there a communication breakdown when there are millions of dollars at stake, like hundreds of millions? And how can you not communicate clearly when there's that much money? I don't understand that.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Turkey Day edition of the Locked On Rays podcast. Hopefully everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. And we have, I don't know if it's a happy episode, but it's an informative and interesting episode. We have more with Colleen Wright, St. Petersburg reporter for the Tampa Bay Times. We continue our talk with her in regards to the Rays, the stadium issue, everything that is going on with that, Ulises. My thought is that people listen to Wednesday's first half of the conversation with Colleen. It was like, oh my gosh, it ended. Wait, what's going on? Well, there's more. And that is what today is for.
You know, showbiz, teaches you a thing or two, and that's cliffhangers work, people. So part 2, very good. And if you stay till the end, we do have a fun conversation with her about something else that you guys in Florida might appreciate. So before we get started, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started.
FanDuel.
Yeah.
Even
That's
people that
Spider-Man
were
meme or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. This is Spider-Man. It's even people that were for the deal last Tuesday, which I saw like about 2.5 hours worth of it. And I was thinking about you, Colleen. I was like, my God, she has to like do this like live. They are very.
And she has to rewrite the story after they vote for the Trop repairs, then reverse that. Like, I didn't even think that was possible, but I guess they made it work.
It was a very tough watch. It was a very tough watch. So I can't begin to think what it was to be in there. But going back to it, I don't remember which person it was, but he was saying, look, I'm for this deal, but Stu is acting in bad faith. Like, even the people that are for this.
Yes.
So trashing Stu Sternberg because of his attitude.
Yeah, so that was Brian Scott. That's the guy who called Brian Auld and like got the first indication of like, oh, they can't afford it. That's the same guy. And he wants it to happen. He believes in the economic promises that this is good for taxes. Like right now, concrete, nothing's happening there, not making any money sitting there. He thinks it's good for jobs, it's good for opportunities, it's good for growth. And he straight up is like, the Rays communication sucks. Like everyone's unhappy. And the other thing that, I even asked him, because the Rays have been saying that commissioners should have been aware that they had to pass these bonds before the election. But I asked him, I'm like, were you aware? And he was like, no. So I don't know. Like, communication is definitely a theme here. And
how is there a communication breakdown when there are millions of dollars at stake, like hundreds of millions? And how can you not communicate clearly when there's that much money? I don't understand that.
I don't know. And another issue is, like, I know that the Rays had called city council members to talk to them about the possibility of going to Sambrano, that it was likely they were going there. But they only called county commissioners like half an hour before that announcement. Like, I knew before they knew.
Yeah, that's a tough look.
And and I don't know why. And even like and I'm not saying anything I haven't reported or I don't, even like their friends, allies, did not get phone calls. I guess because they were upset at the delay. I don't know, but they did not like that. So yeah, even people who are in favor aren't happy. Kathleen Peters, again, very much in favor, not happy. Brian Scott, vice chair, picked up the phone to talk to Brian Auld, not happy. Renee Flowers, big supporter, not only of the Rays, but of Ken Welch, of the mayor. Unhappy, not happy with communication. So I don't know, but the Rays are also looking at this, and they're saying not only can we not afford. I'm so sorry. Not only can we not afford.
Okay.
Sorry, I think there's a Heat game on right now. Not only can we not afford it, but also like we're counting votes, and we don't think that the votes are even there on the commission. However, I just even confirmed today that Commissioner Dave Eggers, who's one of the no votes, one of the two original no votes, is meeting with the Rays next week, the day after, the week after Thanksgiving. And he's like, I'm going in there with an open mind. I know where I stand. Like, it's unlikely, but like, he's open to it. So like, are there things to talk about? I don't know. I don't know how much the Rays are really working the commission. I think at this point, the Rays are pretty much saying it's dead. The Rays are pretty much saying it's dead, it's over, but they won't officially pull the plug.
Yeah, because they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Using your intuition, in just as quickly as possible, will the Rays ever play in Tropicana Field again? Yes or no?
Oh no, I mean, I don't know, because that report, and I've read that report. And by the way, I need to shout out my colleagues, Mark Topkin and John Romano. I'm not alone at these meetings. They are also there. They've helped on the coverage. They've done an awesome job, and we are a great team. So I'm not a one-woman show, really as much anymore. We're a really good team. The report, $55 million to fix the Trop. It has to be suitable to MLB standards. It's like $56 million. It doesn't include another layer of the roof that would help with acoustics. And you might not care. And I don't remember exactly, but I think they said something in like they would have to have someone from Major League Baseball come in and be like, are the acoustics fine? Can we deal with it? Can we deal without it? But if not,
then more money.
I mean, it could be way more money. And also, it's not, there could be more. Like the report says a lot, like, needs further investigation, needs further improvement, needs further investigation. So like, that's probably like maybe the low end. And again, if let's just say everybody about faces and passes it, right? Let's just live in that hypothetical for a second. The Trop then is going to be torn down. So you're putting a lot of money into something that is going to be demolished.
Yeah.
Even people who are very much in favor on the city council don't love that. And also, Richie Floyd brought up that like regular people are getting denied for FEMA. Like, is it true that FEMA's gonna? I don't know enough about how FEMA works or how much how quick they're gonna be. I really don't. But he's like, are we really going to? And he's like, frankly, I don't even think I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he might have said something in the effect of like, is this even worth like spending FEMA money on? I don't know. Like, especially given the circumstance that's going to be torn down. I don't know. Is it going to be fixed? Have they played their last game at the Trop? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. But at the same time, you still got some of the contract, and that contract just gets longer every year. So things are at such an unknown point that I used to say, okay, by December 17th, maybe we'll know. But we might know as soon as Sunday. Maybe the Rays do send a letter Sunday.
Maybe.
Or tomorrow, or any time between now and Sunday saying, all right, cool, we're out, or we're in. But maybe they say nothing.
Maybe, yeah.
I think, Colleen, you need to write a book about this whole situation when it's all said and done. 10 years from now, get that book deal going.
100%.
Yeah. I've been like thinking about it. But yeah, no, I mean, I think we're just living like every day truly has been something new.
Yeah.
Some other new drama has happened.
And people care about it, we thought, behind the scenes, we're like, oh man, maybe we're talking about the stadium too much. And then we look at the numbers and it's like, no, people love hearing about this. Like they want to know. People
want to know, but at the same time, and Richie Floyd, again, very much a no vote, was kind of like, we need certainty on this because nobody lives at the Trop. nobody, like, the Trop is not a home, really.
Right.
People's homes got destroyed. In Pinellas County, I think it's like 41,000 homes destroyed. People's lives are still in piles in front of their houses. Like, people are dealing with FEMA claims and insurance claims and inspectors and hours-long waits at the permit office. Like, there's some real problems, like real problems. And it's like everybody wants to talk about this, but at the same time, like, a lot of people's time and energy that could be spent on rebuilding is on this. And this is important because the Rays are a part of community, and like, we need some certain, like, we need to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
This is an issue. It's a real issue that needs to happen, whether there's a hurricane or not. But it's been brought up of like, we should be focused on like real recovery and like real rebuilding in people's homes and stuff like that. And this is a stadium. It's a stadium deal.
What?
So, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. What other things could the 300 mil could be used for, if not for a stadium?
Sure. So big one is beach renourishment.
Okay. More sand.
Like, more sand and like fixing the sand, because all the sand, like, maybe you guys have seen photos, but like is in people's like pools and on the street and whatever. That also comes a little bit of a caveat. Like, for example, Kathleen Peters met with President Joe Biden when he was down here, and my understanding is she handed him a letter saying, we need to figure out what's going on with this beach renourishment because, and I'm less well versed in this, but like the Army Corps of Engineers basically needs like permanent access to people's like private property in order to like replenish the beaches, and like nobody really wants that. This is my very like broad strokes understanding.
Sure.
And so like it's kind of this thing of like maybe the federal government can like step in and like pay for sand so that like the tourist tax dollars don't have to go to that. And Kathleen Peters is on the record saying like, I'm pretty sure like the federal government will understand. I think they're like seeing the light on this issue, and like maybe they can take care of some of this beach renourishment. So that's the biggest thing, because that's the hotels, because all this money is coming from like your surcharges on like your Airbnb, your short-term rental, and your hotel stays. So like, where are the hotels? They're on the beaches. So that's a big one. That's like the biggest thing. And it's your bread and butter, right? Is the sand. But Kathleen Peters believes that we can take care of both. Like, we can afford the stadium and the beach renourishment, and that she thinks the federal government's going to come through. She's like literally talking directly with the federal government on this. But that's the biggest one, and that came up too. It's beach renourishment. That's item number one.
Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet just $5, people, just $5, and you get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay. My goodness. Kevin, do you have something else for Colleen?
Well, another philosophical question besides the Tropicana Field dilemma and whether the Rays will ever play a game in there again. Crystal ball time.
Ooh.
How does this all play out? Weeks, months from now, do you have any indication leaning one way or another? I'm getting mixed messages from the Rays and Brian Auld texting, we are eager to work with all partners on a solution for the 2029 season that keeps Major League Baseball in Tampa Bay for generations to help me here. What's going on?
I don't know. I mean, it's like, maybe we'll know by Sunday. I'm sure definitively we'll know by December, because I think if the county says no.
By December 17th?
Yeah, because if the county says no to $300 million.
Right, then what are you going to do?
You guys have 300
overrun costs, and you're not even going to get 300. Yeah,
Sure, right. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, but at the same time, is Manfred saying, no, we got to stay in Tampa Bay? Like, I don't know. I just, and not that I'm like, super keen on making predictions or giving my opinion, but
No.
I'm just like factually, when can we know?
Yeah.
I do not know. Like, I think that's why Kathleen Peters sent a letter saying, like, just
Give us clarity.
Give us clarity. Like, tell us up front. You're either in or you're out. And if you're out, send an official notice of termination, because there's language for it. You got to like reference that statute. Do that. But I don't know. Yeah, but I think like, I mean, I'm sure by December, if they don't send a letter by Sunday, no idea if they will or not. You've seen the statement. I've tweeted it. Like, they didn't commit, being like, oh yeah, we'll let you know. Like, they didn't say that. Yeah. I think by December.
Okay.
I think by December.
Okay. And I would think, I mean, kind of going back to it, and not that we have to go down this angle that much longer, but like, you have $313 million, $312.5 million that can be used for a limited number of purposes. It's not like this where they could be, maybe we should use this money on a new, better sewer and plant, more infrastructure, so on and so forth. But like, if they already have the beach renourishment, aka more sand, they think they had that squared away, according to Kathleen Peters. Like, what else are they going to spend this money on? Like, is it upgrades at Dunedin, or Clearwater,
Phillies,
or museums? I guess that would be so crazy to me if they turned around and spent hundreds of millions of dollars or dozens of millions of dollars on spring training facilities instead of a major league complex, or major league facility, I should say.
Mm-hmm. That's my understanding. One of the commissioners made a comment, Dave Eggers, again, one of the no votes, made a comment like, well, tourists use roads and sewers, and they also like put strain on roads and sewers, right? Obviously, you got all these visitors are using this stuff. So maybe you can make an argument that we could use it on that. I think that's like a state. I think that like the legislature would have to like weigh in on that. Like, that's not like an immediate short-term solution. Like,
right. And that was,
who
said that? That was Scherer, the
Eggers.
new
Dave Eggers. No, he's one of the he was one of the 2 no votes back in July on the deal, but he's the one who's meeting with the Rays after Thanksgiving to sit down with them.
Yeah, so he's the one that said he was an umpire. I think in some other part of his life, something came up. I don't know. It was a 3-hour.
Did he say umpire? Oh, I might have missed that. I don't recall that. I don't recall. Someone said they were an umpire. Yeah, I don't really recall that. But yeah, I mean, like, is that possible? Yeah. Is that a short-term thing? Probably not. I mean, I haven't seen anyone mention that as like a real possibility. But Kathleen Peters, to your point about like, oh my God, or like, we're gonna fund minor league and not the major league, team that's here. Kathleen Peters made this whole impassioned speech that she made a speech, and I want to say she spoke with the Phillies, and I might be butchering this story, but it was something like, if like the Rays left, then like that would like really hurt like spring training in Florida. It's like the Grapefruit League, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be like losing their presence would be like just not great and detrimental. And that some people move down here, specifically like people from Philly move to Clearwater to be around there. Like my boyfriend's a huge Pirates fan, so like all the Pittsburgh people are like down in like Bradenton, like, you know what I mean? Like, I can understand that Florida's a retirement haven, so if you love baseball, you're gonna maybe be near your like spring training league. And she kind of was like, there's gonna be this ripple effect if you pull out this team. Like, people come here for that, and they get into it, and people go to stadiums, and like, this is bigger than just the deal itself. And like, maybe the deal isn't perfect, but like, this is gonna have ramifications that you might not even like fully be able to wrap your head around right now. And it was also brought up that like, if the county chooses not to issue bonds, then like, what message does this send to businesses that want to do business with the county? Like, you're not going to uphold your end of the bargain. Them? Yeah. Are you going to trust them? Are you like, is nothing ever going to be a done deal? I mean, we're seeing that. Like, I get, as you can imagine, tweets all the time being like, I would never work with these guys, or like, I would never work with these guys. They never follow through. And it just, it's almost like all of it is kind of true. And even maybe if you're not even for the deal, if you don't like the deal, if you think it's lopsided or whatever, like, you can maybe even see it as like, okay, that was an issue then, but like you've already passed it, so just follow through. Like, or you could be like, finally, thank God, at least like, a hurricane came and did it for you. An act of God intervened. Like,
Right.
it depends on where you're coming from. But I can tell you that at the city council meeting, the vibe was not good. Even people who do not want the deal to happen were like, this doesn't feel good. I don't like this at all. It's like, but like, the energy was not, it was kind of sad. Like, and that's not how I feel. It's what people literally said.
Right.
And just the total tenor of the room.
I mean, I kind of felt it through watching it on the stream. It just there had an icky feeling.
Oh yeah. The city administrator, Rob Gertis, who his nephew is Copley Gertis, who's on the city council, but the city administrator at one point, when the prosecutor turned, Lisette Hanowitz, the prosecutor turned city council member, was trying to like get Brian Auld to just say the direct thing. The city administrator, who has not litigated this, but like, he's the head negotiator. He's worked on this deal from the jump. I mean, from the RFP process, like the proposal process to get solicitations, to when the Rays were picked, to negotiating with them. He started laughing. And like, but when I mean laugh, I mean like an exasperated, like throw your hands up, like just like, like one of those laughs. And later on, he was like, given the comments that Mr. Auld said tonight, I think he said something like the right thing to do would be for the Rays to turn in their termination letter. And it's like, even people who have worked at this for years are kind of like, then be done with it. But some people do see a path to yes. And I actually did a story I talked to 4 county commissioners and 4 city council members, and they were all like, there could be a path to yes, like we believe so. And one of the city council members who flipped was like, if I had thought that this was a dead deal, I would have just voted it down. Because she had the power to just be like, actually, no, let's just tank it now. Like, she could have done that. It's true. She really could have. But she didn't, because everybody just kind of wants clarity. I feel like everybody is trying to get back to where they were in July, but we're just living in like a post-hurricane world that's on an election year. If this had been last year, if hurricanes had come and this had been last year, you'd still be dealing with the same makeup of the commission and the council.
Right.
You would not have new blood.
You're right. It was, the perfect storm. Everything that, or what is it? Is it Murphy's Law? Like anything that can go wrong goes wrong, or something like it. It's like
everything that can go wrong will. Yeah, that is exactly kind of but is there like a perfect bad guy? No.
I know it's not much, and I know the Rays say, "Hey, we're running out of funds here. We can't make it work." Maybe the city of St. Petersburg, this is very tongue-in-cheek, but they use the bonuses that they were going to give to the employees for getting the deal done, throw that into the pot, give it another $100,000 or so and make it work from there. But I don't know where I was going with that, just a little aside, but it's crazy what's happening.
I'm only making that face because yesterday, that was actually like above the letter, I think the most read story on our website. People like started clicking on that. Like, our story and this is another thing. I wrote about that story about the bonuses, and then I went on vacation. So my colleague, who I love so much, Jack Evans, wrote about how those bonuses were actually illegal. Like, the city's policies were not up to date to reflect like, it's really honestly kind of procedural, but they weren't legal by law. And everybody had to pay that back.
That's
so
crazy. My God.
Yeah.
So breaking news. I have a picture of Rays fans right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's all Rays fans right now. They're all crying. No certainty. Kevin, if you don't have anything, if you don't have anything else, Kevin, I think we should.
I'm good.
End the show with something a little bit positive. And Colleen, it was great that your phone gave you that notification and that you said there's a Heat game on, because we have something for you. We want your reaction, your honest reaction when you first saw this.
The Dwyane Wade statue? Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
clearly, I got so many calls about this. Like,
Oh, I bet.
yeah, I mean, I've heard because I'm friends with some reporters in some sports reporters in Miami that up close, it doesn't look that bad, but that clearly does not look like him.
that doesn't look like
No.
him.
It looks really bad. Like, I love Dwyane Wade. I think he's a very attractive man. That's clearly not him. Like
That's
in
not
the
him.
statue.
That's out of The
Yeah,
Walking Dead. Like that's a Walking
It's like
Dead.
a zombie. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
they do?
And then I think like the artist had to have like a press conference after, and it looked like
Oh,
yeah, and they had to like answer to it, and
That's rough.
I don't know, but
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, head on over to YouTube. Look at the picture that we're referencing, the statue that we're referencing. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Colleen, if people still do not follow you on social media and they don't know where to get everything that you've talked about, where can they do it?
so you can follow me on Twitter or X at Colleen_Wright, or you can also go, if you just Google Tampa Bay Times Colleen Wright, there's a link to my page and you can read my bio, and all my work is right there. And that's like the easiest way to find me. But I hope that people subscribe because that's what pays the bills. So thank you.
Exactly.
But I appreciate you all for always supporting my work and promoting it. So it's always fun to come on here and talk.